From the start between Richter City and Auckland Roller Derby League. And it's Alan McKenzie up for Auckland Roller Derby League against Princess Slayer from Richter City. Unfortunately for Slayer, she's picked up a penalty, so she's going to serve time in the Garage Project penalty box. But out front and lead jammer, it is Alan McKenzie for Auckland Roller Derby League. And she's on a power jam too, so she's going to sit about wanting to get as many points as she can, whilst her opposing jammer has a bit of a sit down. That said, she's picked up a 5-point Grand Slam haul right there. Met hard and gets through the pack quite easily down there. The pack not really doing much, just stagnant somewhat in turn one. Not offering a great deal, making it somewhat easy for McKenzie to get on through, but hit to the outside and recycle back, only momentarily though. Oh, a bit of a turn on the inside line. Ella McKenzie gets through. Another 5-point scoring pass, Grand Slam scoring pass that is for her. A lot of action going on now in turn one, a lot of defensive work going on. Princess Slayer finding it tricky to get through. Does a star pass and does it well. Unfortunately for tough pickers, she couldn't get through. And a great opening jam there for the girls in the lightning blue. 18 points first up to start with. Richter City yet to score.
Oh, no, sorry. Blue 8-2.
Next up on the GMAC Motors jammer start line is K&E Dodgem. And she's up against Anna Renwick. Those jammers getting a fair old workout on the main straightaway. Neither jammer been able to bust through just as yet. A lot of lateral movement going by both jammers. They're really trying to spread open and get as many gaps as they possibly can, see if they can't get that little opening that they need. Nice little hit there from Richter City. And Janie Dodgem gets through. She picks up lead jammer for Richter City. As I'm joined by my co-host, Marcus, and good afternoon to you, my friend, as this one's underway.
Did I miss anything?
Auckland got off to a flying start, mate. Put 18 on the first jam, and Alan McKenzie did a really good first up jam and picked up 18 points.
That's the slippery fish for you.
That's it.
So lining up to jam, we've got Smith.
And looks like Nerdinator there for Richter City. Twinkle of the fingers, as she quite often does. Hammer down, this one's underway. Both jammers working really hard at the back of the pack. Fairly solid pack too on the main straightaway, not giving anything to either jammer.
It's a solid Auckland wall.
Yeah.
Benedicta, Arsenal, but on the inside, ooh, just makes it through. Sass gives her a big knock on the way by.
And Nerdinator gets out, picks up lead jammer for Richter City.
Taking Arsenal down on the way past, but she threw on a scoring pass for all 5 points. I just raced back from the upper hut. Drove that little Peugeot too fast. And star in hand, Smith is through as well. Nerdinator calling it.
And Nerdinator picked up on that one pretty quickly and thought, I'm not having any of this, I'm going to call this one off. Picks up 9 points in the process.
The Bulls still with the lead.
Yeah.
18-14.
This is my first ever look at Auckland. Super excited with what I'm seeing at the moment. Very good.
And I've got 3, 4, 5.
Looks like we've got Shehard up against Too High on the GMAC Motors Jammer start line as we get this one underway.
Shehard with a run up.
Again, that triangle there for Richter really working hard, not really giving anything to the Auckland Jammers.
Bit of offence from Terra, trying to help Shehard through as Too High's recycled.
Now it's Too High's turn to cop some decent defence as she's hit to the outside of the track. She'll get recycled to main straightaway, but out front and picking up the lead jammer is Shehard for Auckland Roller Derby League.
So Terra containing Too High, but Too High through now. You might need to be turned up a little. That seems to be much louder. So 0 points for Richter, 3 for Auckland on that jam. So Auckland extending the lead, 21-14. And is it the same sponsors as the other place?
Yeah.
So Mackenzie, the slippery fish, against Slayer on the GMAC Motors jam line.
I like that. Hand down, whistle blown to get this one going.
Oh, massive opening on the inside. Created by Benedicta. You didn't have to ask Mackenzie twice. She was straight through it. Like a ferret down a trouser leg.
Yeah, she saw that one nice and early and just went darting down the inside line. Picked up lead jammer in the process. Meanwhile, all the action seems to be on turn 1.
Slayer still struggling to get through that Auckland wall. And as I say that, of course, she gets through. So we have a player in the box for Richter. 3 points on that pass for Auckland, extending their lead.
Yeah, that looks like 101. That looks like Tough Bicky sitting in the Garage Project sponsored penalty box.
It's Dodgem on Renwick with only 2 in the wall. But those 2 are the power couple. Suffragette and Tina
Turner.
But the slippery fish is through it. 1-on-1 with Terra now. Dodge and goes. And now stopped by Resident Evil. But she's through. Big hit by Terra. That was Terra on Suffragette. Another good jam for Auckland, extending the lead, 28-14.
Unfortunately, therefore, Richter City, Tina Turner picking up a penalty, so she'll sit. Well, she's standing now, so hopefully she'll get released early in this next jam. That'll bolster her blocking stocks on track.
So only Tough Bickies and Ella Kazam in the wall for Richter.
Yep.
And for Auckland, we've got Arsenal and Sass.
And 2 jammers, Nerdinator and Smith going at it, but Nerdinator using the outside line, getting up on their toes nice and early. Gets on through, picks up lead jammer for Richter City.
Big smile on Nerdinator's face as Arsenal is sent to the Garage Project box for Auckland. And that's 2 points to Auckland, 4 points to Richter on that pass. So Richter clawing it back a little bit. Still 30-18, Auckland versus Richter.
Nice and close, that's what we want. Looks like a 3
Oh, this time a big pack advantage for Richter.
That's a 4-2 block advantage, I should say.
And that's Pyroclastic Flow and Terra having to keep back the mighty Too High. But there's been a penalty called. Muss is through. Too High waiting at the back.
Yeah, he just took off just a little bit too early, so she had to yield. But now it's all systems go. But met solidly by Auckland there at the back. Finds a bit of a gap, uses the outside line, gets on through. Picks up lead jam at Too High, Richter City.
Fantastic. Too High moves past. A little bit confusing with Pyroclastic Flow's orange helmet. It looks like a Richter player sometimes.
As Muzz gets her way through, unfortunately
done.
she hasn't got lead jam. And
Great jam from Too High. 4 points, 0 to Auckland. Richter claw it back 4 points more, 30 to 22. Shehard lining up for Auckland on the Gemmac Motors jam line.
And she's going to be taking on Princess Slayer from Richter City.
Along with Too High, these are the taller jammers in the tournament.
Yep. There's at the front of the pack, that's Princess Slayer coming up hard against a very tough Auckland defence.
Sass, Arsenal, and Venus Thigh Trap in the wall.
But that's it, though. She found the gap, mate. She got on through. Picked up lead jammer, Princess Slayer, and Richter City.
Oh, straight through. Great bit of offence by Alakazam. So 4 points again to Richter. So it's getting close. Just 4 points in it. 30 to ARDL, 26 to Richter City. We've got Mackenzie and Dodgem lining up on the Gemmac jam line. Auckland's defensive wall on the Thundies pivot line, drifting backwards. Oh, Mackenzie very nearly round the outside there. Some fancy footwork.
That's some great footwork.
Look at that. Oh!
That was some sensational footwork. 1 foot to the other, hopping laterally is something you don't see a lot of. A lot of girls tend to T-glide across the track, but that was amazing skill and footwork there by Mackenzie. Unfortunately, though, she's been hit to the inside repeatedly and recycled.
You can see why she's being picked for Team Aotearoa.
She's been picked for Team Oz? Okay, well done to her. Awesome.
And she's through. Dodgem struggling to get past Pyroclastic Flow. She's trying to call it off, sticking her bum backwards, trying to get her hips beyond more blockers. And finally, she gets 3 points. So we have a lead change. Richter 34, Auckland 30.
And it happens that quick as we see 404 for Richter City. That's Nerdinator up on the Gemmac Jammer sponsored Jammer line. She's up against Anna Renwick from ARDL.
Only one blocker on the track for Richter. So both the jammer and the one blocker trying to stop Renwick getting through, and she's still not through. And another blocker joins the Richter wall.
Oh, some nice footwork there by Nerdinator on the inside line. Could have easily been taken out, but had the poison balance to get on through.
Auckland recycling around, and sure enough, that's a cut called on Richter. So it's a power jam for Auckland, as Renwick scores the first 5 points of the power jam. Yeah. So Nerdinator sent to the Garage Project box for a high block.
Yep.
Not a cut. Renwick on another scoring pass.
As we see all the action down here in turn 4, Markinson coming with a barrel of steam was
Suffragette running Renwick back.
So Renwick now taken right back into turn 3, so she's going to have to start all over again off the back straightaway there and met solidly.
There's Nerdinator back into the game and through on her initial. So Nerdinator through. Auckland switch to offense to try and help Renwick through.
Yep.
but she scores 3 points on that final pass. So the score, 10-point difference, 43 to 33.
Yeah, nice little 13-point jam there from Auckland. As we see Smith rather for Auckland Royal Derby on the GMAC jammer start line, and she's going to take on Too High from Richter City.
Both teams with a full complement of skaters, in theory, on track, because I don't see anyone in the box
for now.
But Auckland seem to be a player down. Oh no, it's again the Pyroclastic Flow orange helmet fooling me.
So Too High gets through, picks up lead jammer for Richter City.
Smith struggling to get through that solid wall of Richter. Pyroclastic Flow taking Too High down. Now she comes up against Evil, and a great bit of O. Great bit of O helps her through.
Yep.
That was Bubble O kill, helping Tui through. Too High, sorry.
And Too High picking up 5 points on that previous jam.
And yet again the scores come closer, 43-38, with just under half of this half to go.
Half of this half, I like it.
So we got Slayer and Shehard. Shehard with a customary long run up. And straight off the line, Richter with the offense. Trying to help Slayer through.
Richter triangle working very, very well down here in turn one, holding Shehard up just nicely. All the action further up the pack with Princess Slayer. Again, also, not to be outdone, the Auckland defense. But it is Princess Slayer breaking on through. She picked up lead jammer for Richter City.
Tough Bickies helping with that O. And Ella Kazam off to the penalty box. The Garage Project penalty box.
Yep.
Two points to Richter. Ever closer, 43 to Auckland, 40 Richter. And Mackenzie steps up with Dodgem again. And obviously with Ella Kazam in the Garage Project box. Auckland with the pack advantage. In her tiny underwear. She cuts a forlorn figure.
Oh.
And straight through Mackenzie.
She just uses her outside line so well. She only needs a small opening and she's gone. Very impressed with Mackenzie and what she brings to the track. A little bit of a pivot down there in turn two. And she picks up a Grand Slam 5-point haul for Auckland Roller Derby League.
Oh, fantastic work by Flirty Harry there, getting low and in front of Dodgem. Recycling her, that was absolutely fantastic defensive work from Auckland. They were bouncing Dodgem around. And Muss with a big hit. Mackenzie through again. Bubble O'Kill focusing on Muss and not the jammer coming through. But Dodgem is through. And the Slippery Fish calls it. Another 3 points on the final pass, but that was a high-scoring jam for Auckland, moving them 21 points into the lead. 61 Auckland, 40 Richter.
As we see Nerdinator for Richter City taking to the GMAC Motors jammer start line. Up against Anna Renwick. And a 4-3 block advantage going the way of Auckland.
Richter again, one player down, so we're making it easy for Renwick on the inside there. Some great O from Arsenal. And Terra has been sent to the Garage Project penalty box.
Unfortunately for Nerdinator, she got hit onto the outside and recycled almost back into turn 4, but gets back on track nice and quickly, goes about getting herself established and getting herself through.
And Renwick struggling with her scoring pass. Got through very quickly on the first initial, but scoring pass has been a bit slower. Wow, she was calling that. And 5 points to Auckland, 2 for Richter.
There you go.
Just slow call off there.
And with a star pass as well. To Bailey, so I think Bailey's comment picked up the star on that one.
But not by Anna. So Smith lining up to jam for Auckland. A couple of players in the Garage Project box. That's Tara and Arsenal. And too high, nearly climbing over the Auckland wall. And she's taken down by Evil and Sass. And a bit of offensive help.
Yep.
And finally pushed through. But she's called for forearms. So it's a power jam for Auckland. No, it's not. No. So both jammers in the box.
And both are pretty much simultaneously released out of the box.
So
It's too high to lead. The lead hasn't been established. They haven't had it. No.
So we've got no lead jammer, and again, it's a power jam for Auckland. And Smith on her initial pass. Auckland busy goating the pivot for Richter, helping Smith push forward and stretch out till there's no pack.
I tell you what, Richter doing absolutely everything they could there and everything right to try and hold Smith up.
His goating strategy seems to be working for them.
Yeah.
And Smith now on her scoring pass. But she's not lead, so this jam will play out for the full 30 seconds left.
And Double Kill just hit to the outside there momentarily. She'd get back on track. As Too High's been released to the penalty box, she now finds herself back on track, but it's Smith out front.
So this is still Too High's initial pass. Ooh, that looked a little painful. Sass going down with Too High. Meanwhile, Smith struggling to get through the solid Richter wall. Both teams have full decks on the table.
Yep.
And it times out. So that was another 4 points to Auckland, 0 to Richter. That was a hard 4 points.
Very hard.
So yeah, quite a low scoring game so far. 70-42, 7 minutes left in the half. Shehard stepping up for Auckland. No players in the Garage Project box.
That's a good thing.
And there's Slayer for Richter. And she's through.
Gets through quite easily. In fact, coming out of turns 2 there, so she's now about to complete her initial, so she'll be coming around getting some scoring points on this particular pass.
Great work by Richter, but we've had a star pass, and Muss now with the star on head is on her scoring pass. Slayer trying to call it off, and that allowed Auckland to get 1 point versus Richter's 3.
I think Slayer was very much aware of what had happened there with the star pass and saw that Muzz was coming around quite quickly and thought, I'm not going to have anything to do with this and I'm going to call it off.
71 to Auckland, 45 for Richter.
Yeah, the rest have been a bit slow with the
Yeah, right.
So Dodgham on Mackenzie, this pairing again. Both teams with full complement of players.
Yep. What a little pocket rocket Mackenzie is just working the Richter defence laterally now. She's waiting to find that gap.
Oh! Some great O from Pyroclastic Flow there, helping Mackenzie through, but she just got nicked out. And run back by Suffragette.
I think she saw that gap just as quick as what Mackenzie did and really got in her way and chopped that right off.
We have a Dodgham in the box. It's a power jam for Auckland. But first, Mackenzie has to get through this solid Richter wall with a bit of assistance from Terra.
And here comes
Suffragette and Zam doing their terrible twosome work. But she's through. They're trouble, those two.
So now it's Ellen McKenzie out, all by her lonesome.
McKenzie on her scoring pass. That's a full 5 points to Auckland. And Dodgham back on track for Richter.
Looking, trying everything she can to.
Suffragette again running McKenzie back.
Well, the star pass was complete again for Tino Turner, but unfortunately she wasn't going to be able to put that to use and score any points. So.
And Auckland extend their lead by 3 points. So the score now 79 plays 45. And it looks like we have a Richter City timeout. No?
If we didn't, we do now.
I might have announced that. Okay. So the team timeouts are brought to you by Tiki Wine.
And apparently I've been asking the question all weekend, and apparently Tiki Wine's pretty damn good, so I've got to get me a bottle of this Tiki Wine.
Yeah, I think we should be given samples. Where's the Tiki representative in the place? She's probably on track.
Look, I wouldn't reject having to test it, just to make sure that's all good.
Yep. All the varietals, please.
And of course, Marcus, a big shout out to all our refs and NSAs over the course of this weekend, because without them, we simply just do not derby. We can actually tell you who we've got.
Which one is it?
We would have...
What game are we? What game is this? Hang on. The loser game. Oh, come on. Okay. So yeah, thanking our refs. Give them a shout. Vector, Mass, Fouled Out, Warner, Mr. Fox, and Ice Brady.
I've ref with Ice Baby. She's a really cool ref.
She's excellent.
She's very good. As we get this one underway, and it's Nerdinator for Richter City up against Anna Renwick.
Renwick with a jump, beautiful, on the outside. Renwick very energetic in her attack of the wall. Lots of shoulder punches thrown.
Yep.
Oh! A big knock for 777. Chemical warfare. Chemi.
Unfortunately for Richter, though, Nerdinator picked up a cut track call, so she'll sit now in the garage project.
3 points to Auckland for that jam. So, Auckland extending their lead, 82 to 45. 3 minutes left on the clock.
And Ellen McKenzie all on her lonesome to start this one.
And it's a power jam.
And it's a power jam. Just exactly what she would want. Taking the action down into turn 2 is where we find everyone. Still trying to fight her way through. Met fairly solidly by the Richter defence, has to be said. Pushed to the outside. She'll be taken back deep into turn 1 and 2.
Some great defence from Richter, holding her back. Auckland hanging back.
And now the cavalry arrive.
Muss forming up with her wall to try and prevent the Richter jammer now out of her box. And McKenzie still not thrown her first pass. And Evil holding, but finally letting Nerdinator through. And despite the power jam, Richter have got lead.
Yeah, good move by Nerdinator. She saw a gap on the inside line. Tried to work the defence through, and it did open up for her, and she took it, so well played by her.
McKenzie through, and Nerdinator sent to the box, so it's a power jam for McKenzie. For a low block, Nerdinator went down, and Flirty Harry joining her in the Garage Project box. So now it's McKenzie's chance to score some points.
As the pack make their way down into turn 1, that's where we see all the action, and the Richter defence just holding McKenzie up just slightly. I don't know. Oh, big hit on
Terror being sent for direction of play on that one, I think.
She gets herself up, dusts herself back off, gets back into it.
Mackenzie struggling on this jam.
That would have hurt.
That's 5 points for Richter on that pass, and 5 points similarly for Mackenzie. They're even Stevens, but the score improved in Richter's favour for that jam to 50, and ARDL lead with 87, with 1:30 left on the clock of this half.
With Sheehan and Too High on the GMAC sponsored jammer start line. With the blocker advantage going the way of Richter City, we get this one underway. And again, she had just been momentarily held up by a very strong Richter defense. Meanwhile, out front, it is Too High. She gets through. Lead jammer, Richter City.
Yeah, Richter City's strategy to start with one player in an O in a position to do offence on the Auckland wall worked very well there.
Yep.
In that case, Ella Kazam creating the opportunity for Too High. And through again on a scoring pass. 5 points. It's Too High.
This is just exactly what Richter needed, just a power jam or a good haul of points.
Shihad being recycled.
And she's picked up another Grand Slam 5-point haul there for Richter City.
And Shihad in the Garage Project box. So it's a power jam now for Richter.
Just what the doctor ordered. Meanwhile, back on turn 1.
Another 5. Too High banking them now. Score 87-65.
This is turning out to be a very, very valuable jam for Richter. Maybe not quite so for Auckland as Too High gets on through again, but unfortunately she's picked up a forearms call in the process, so she will sit 30 seconds.
40 seconds left on the clock, so they'll be starting the second half with a power jam, Auckland.
Yep.
But I think Richter will be buoyed by this particular jam, because it's gone in their way so far. But Shihad's now the one out there, pass on her initial to score some points. With 25 seconds left of this half. She's knocked on the outside by Ella Kazam. And run back.
Yeah, taken deep back into turn 2. She has to start all over again. And
there's 10 seconds left in this half. And oh dear, fortunes have switched. It's now going to be Richter starting the second half with a power jam.
Yep.
As Shihad is sent to the Garage Project penalty box. And 5 points to add insult to injury, scored by Too High right at the end there. So that was a very good jam for Richter, bringing the scores much closer the end of the first half. 87 plays 70. We've got a good game on.
Yeah, I mean, 17 points at the half. I mean, that's nothing in roller derby, as we know. Very, very gettable power jam to start off with, which is exactly what Richter City would have loved going into the second half. So
yeah,
hopefully they can capitalize.
There was a moment there where it looked like Auckland would have doubled Richter's score, and they're on 85 and Richter down on 40.
Which just goes to show, I think,
45.
Marcus, if you keep to your basic sort of stuff and do your basics well, the points will take care of itself. Cliche as it sounds, and it's true. That's exactly what Richter did. They just did some basic things. Got a couple of points here, a couple of points there, and they pick up a power jam here.
to the second half. Princess Slayer lining up on the Gemac Motors jam line. And Shihad starting in the Garage Project penalty box. The score 87-71. And straight through is Slayer, lead jammer. Meanwhile, Auckland walling up. Some solid O on the inside line, helps her out, but she just went out of bounds on the inside, and she rejoins behind Flirty Harry, and is knocked out by her own player on the outside and run back by Muss. That's what it looked like. And through for her first scoring pass, 5 points. Meanwhile, Shihad into the attack for Auckland. And through on her initial.
And so far, a solid start from Princess Slayer and the Richter City, just what they would have wanted. And bringing up a nice little 9-point jam there, bridging the gap now, 80 Richter City to 87.
So only 7 points in it. And we got Dodgem lining up against Renwick.
And the Garage Project penalty box is empty, which means we have a full complement of blockers on the track for both teams.
And there's been a timeout call.
Yeah, it's an official timeout brought to us this weekend by TRO.
TRO Physiotherapy.
Yeah.
And we commence again. Dodgem trying the inside line. Renwick the outside line. Dodgem knocked out. It's a solid 3-wall by Auckland. Similarly up front. Oh, Renwick through on the outside. As Richter switched to offense to help their jammer through. And going down for Auckland is Sass. But maintaining the wall is Arsenal, Saskia and Benedicta. On our scoring pass, Renwick struggling to make her way through, but she's through on the outside. 5 points to Auckland. It's now a power jam as Dodgem's been sent to the Garage Project box.
Yeah, she's been sent there on a blocking out of bounds call. So she'll have 30 seconds to sit down and have a think about what it is.
So Auckland switching to O to help Renwick through on this scoring pass. Now being instructed to hold back so that Renwick can stretch out the pack, but she's run back instead. Five points and a jammer in the freezer. This also contains the Garage Project's beers. That's Dodgem starting in the Garage Project box with Mackenzie with the power jam. So expect to see some O off the line from Auckland to disrupt the Richter wall and help Mackenzie through.
Takes full advantage of that run up to Mackenzie, and
no, they hold stations and wall up in preparation of Dodgem, who's rejoined the track. Meanwhile, Mackenzie stretching out the back of the front, and she's through as your lead jammer. And there's been a star pass, so your pivot is now your jammer, and that's tough pickies for Richter. Mackenzie calling it just in the nick of time. And that's 3 points to Auckland. Auckland extending the lead. They've hit the 100 mark. It's quite a low scoring game. 26 minutes left in this half. 20 points in it. 100 plays 80.
As we see Nerdinator for Richter City lining up on the Gemac Motors jammer start line.
And for Auckland, it's Skate the Muss.
First time we've seen Muzz as a jammer this afternoon.
Muss pushing hard on that wall. She's got the power to do it, and she does. Muss is your lead jammer. Meanwhile, a star pass in the pack, and Nerdinator has passed the star on to your pivot, who is Tino Turner. Called off by Muss. Good timing. 3 points to Auckland. Just chipping away, extending their lead very slightly, 103 to 80. Have we got an official review?
We do have an official review.
Official review brought to you by Wooden Spoon Ice Cream.
I believe it's Richter City they've called this official review.
Let's make sure we're doing the call-outs because Moon's on track.
Yeah.
Looks like Too High stepping up to jam the next jam with Smith for Auckland.
I really wish Pyroclastic Flow would put a blue cover on her helmet.
Oh,
Because as soon as she's behind someone, she looks like
Richter skater.
a Richter blocker or a jammer or pivot.
Yeah.
The colour's exactly the same. That's caught me out a couple of times when I thought they had a pack advantage. I was like, hang on, can't they have 6 players? No one's in the box.
So both teams now standing on the Gemac Motors jam line. Gemac Motor Service is Gordon McIntosh. He's been running his own business for over 30 years. Whether it's a warrant of fitness, oil change, service or vehicle repairs, it's a one-stop shop. Located on Parliament Street near Station Village and Western Hut train station for easy access into town after dropping the car off. Friendly, experienced and reliable service every time.
If I wasn't a mechanic, I'd probably take my car there. It's a heck of a long way from Melbourne, Australia, but you know what? Why not? Let's still under an official review, ladies and gentlemen. It shouldn't be too much longer now before we have clarity on what the official review was for.
Yeah, work it, Sam. Not sure what the outcome of the official review was. Mischief?
Okay.
So, Too High on Smith. Ah, no, yes, so Muss is now in the box, so it's a power jam for Richter. That's what the official review must have been about. And Too High is through as your lead jammer.
Yeah, waste no time to Too High. Press her way through the pack on her initial pass, get that one completed. Now she can be scoring points, which is what Richter wants her to do, but hit to the outside of the track. She's just going to be recycled mid-main straight, but she'll make that up quite quickly. And she does so and gets through, picks up 5 points, scoring pass to Too High and Richter.
Fantastic work by Too High there. Some great O as well from Alakazam and company from Richter. And she's through again for another 5 points. Let's have some noise for Too High. And we have Muss back on track. She's made her initial pass. As Too High makes 4 more and calls it off.
Yep.
Taking Pyroclastic Flow down with her. So the score is much closer. 103, Auckland, 94 to Richter. Can they get it back? 23 minutes to tell us.
Nice little 14-point jam there for Too High. As we see Steve, no, it's not Steve, my pardon, it is Smith on the jammer start line for Auckland.
And Slayer for Richter.
Both jammers working hard just to try and find that little opening, little gap. But unfortunately, though, for Slayer, she's going to sit in the penalty box.
So it's now a power jam for Smith. Teammates helping with a bit of O on the Richter wall.
been super impressed with Richter's abilities. Once they get busted up by O, they reform actually quite quickly, and it's making it really, really tough. And they're doing that right now into turn 3. They're really giving Smith a hard time.
Smith trying to... They're hanging back now in order to let Smith stretch out the pack. Ooh. And that's number 9 being sent to the box. Bubble O'Kill for out of play.
Yeah, blocking out of play.
And Slayer's back on track with a big hit from Arsenal, taking her off and recycled. Meanwhile, Smith on her scoring pass, pushing Tino. Bit being held in place by tough bickies. And Sass being sent to the Garage Project box for a back block, I think. Oh, and Slayer felling Arsenal right in front of the commentary box. 4 points to Richter, 5 for Smith. So Auckland not calling it off until the last minute. And Smith makes 2 points for that last pass. So the score now 110 to Auckland Roller Derby League, 98 to Richter City. Dodgem and Renwick lining up on the Gemac Motors jam line.
It's going to be a 4-3 blocker advantage going the way of the women in orange.
So Ella Kazam in her usual position of the O off the line, sticking to Arsenal like a limpet. And Arsenal chasing down Dodgem, not quite knocking her out on the out, and in fact getting a penalty for her efforts.
Yeah, some nice footwork there from Dodgem in between turns 1 and 2. Sees her with lead jammer now on a scoring pass.
Sass back on track for Auckland and holding Dodgem at bay. Dodgem doing her usual, pushing the bum backwards to get the hips past more, and that's 3 points to Richter, 0 Auckland for that jam. So 9 points in it. Auckland with 110, Richter with 101.
As we see Nerdinator and Ellen McKenzie lining up on GMAC Jammer start line. 3 apiece in terms of blockers for each team.
Ella Kazam and Arsenal in the Garage Project box to start this jam. And Bosch through on the outside is McKenzie. That slippery fish does it again. And McKenzie on that powerful 3-wall, which is Suffragette, Tino Turner, and Nerdinator. And McKenzie calls it off. 0 Richter. 5 points to Auckland. So Shehard stepping up to jam for Auckland. Too high for Richter.
And as we always like to start with an empty penalty box, that's a good thing. So we've got a full complement of blockers for both teams. With just a tick over 19 minutes left in this game. Whistle blows, hand gets dropped down. This one's away, Too High out front, pushing through into turn 1.
Too High really moving that front wall as well, forcing Saskia to bridge for Auckland, and stretches it out and through. Too High with the power.
Unfortunately for Shehard, she got tied up very much on turn 1, could not get through the pack.
Meanwhile, Shehard not through on her initial, but Too High gets through on her scoring pass as Shehard switches to defence.
And picks up 5 points in the process, does Too High. A Grand Slam, a bag of points there for her and Richter City.
And it's a power jam for Richter as Sass, now with the star, gets sent to the Garage Project box. And Too High on another scoring pass, being held in place by Benedicta, Saskia, and Arsenal. And that means we've got a frozen jammer in the garage box. Tactical play by Too High there to keep Sass pivot turned jammer in the penalty box. So Richter starting this next jam with a power jam. A ref nearly being taken out by an invisible blocker.
Good opportunities for Richter to pick up some very, very valuable points on the power jam start. Princess Slade just works in the middle of the track, then finds her way to the inside part. Again, takes it round into the back straightaway, gets through, lead jammer, Richter City. Initial done, now we're on a scoring pass as Sass makes her way back onto the track for Auckland. But all the action's back on turn one.
We could see a lead change here. Score 115 to Auckland, 111 to Richter. But we've got Sass back on track, jamming for Auckland. And through she goes for another 5 points. Richter City take the lead. 116 plays 115 by 1 point. 16 minutes left in this game. She's taken down as she cools it off. Auckland with no points. 4 more, so a 5-point lead to Richter. That's brought the crowd alive.
That's it. As we are now on a team
timeout for Auckland.
Yes, it is.
Sponsored by Tiki Wine.
It is.
So Richter now in the lead.
And what we talked about going into the halftime break there, Marcus, Richter did just keep plugging away. 4 points here, 5 points there, 9 points here. All of a sudden they find themselves 5 points clear in front. They're just doing the basic things.
Yeah, Auckland had quite a few 3-point jams, 4-point jams, 5-point jams.
Yep.
There was a bit of tactics there in icing Sass in the penalty box, who's not normally a jammer. So it was a smart move by Too High on the bench.
Yep.
I want to tell Auckland to stop jamming the weak jams. This is a big upset for Auckland Wanderers in terms of their standings. Is this one an official game or not?
I don't know. I don't think it is. I think I heard somewhere that it wasn't a sanctioned game. They've probably already done their 2 sanctioned games.
So not too far off from the start.
Renwick lining up with Dodgem.
It's going to be a 3-4 block advance going the way of Richter City. And Dodgem out front, just finding it just a little bit tough. That's it, so is Anna Renwick. She's caught mid-main straight. Richter City defense working overtime to hold her up. But the cavalry arrived, and you expect O coming very, very certainly, and there it is.
Neither jammer through. Dodgem run all the way back by Auckland's wall, and it looks like we've got a Renwick clear.
Oh,
no,
it's a cut track on Anna Renwick. She's going to spend some time in the penalty box. Not what they wanted.
So lead jammer to Dodgem.
And power jam too.
And a power jam.
Yep. Just exactly what Richter City would want. So Dodgem now sitting about trying to get as many points as she can.
5 points to Richter.
And picks up 5 points.
Yet again, we've got a Auckland jammer, this time a regular rotation jammer, Renwick, starting from the Garage Project penalty box. Nerdinator excited about her power jam, bouncing up and down.
She's happy, she's up on her toes. Customary finger flick, there it is.
So the score now 125, 10 points in it. Richter 125, Auckland 115. Nerdinator pushing through, but she's not through yet.
She's now picked up lead jammer.
So we enter the last quarter of this game. And Richter scoring freely. 5 more points. So Richter extends their lead to 15 points. And Renwick almost through. She's through now. She's looking a little sore.
Don't know if that was a knee or an ankle she was looking at, or just her skates, but...
And through for an extra 4 points is Richter's jammer. Oh, Nerdinator. Extended their lead 134 to 115.
So again, as we were saying before, Marcus, just those little 9-pointers, 4-pointers, 5-pointers, and they're slowly building a little bit of a lead here. I'd expect Auckland to hit back.
Mackenzie and Too High lining up on the Gemac Motors jam line. No players in the garage box. Too High run back by Terra. Oh, Mackenzie still struggling to get through that Richter wall. Taken out on the out. And looks like Kemi picking up a penalty for Richter. Sitting in the garage project penalty box. Mackenzie still not through as Too High pushes and stretches the pack at the front.
Mind you though, Mackenzie getting very what a move. I was just about to say Mackenzie got hit off the outside of the track, got on the track, got very, very busy, and it paid off.
Too High hot on her tail.
Yep.
Mackenzie through and calling it off. So 0 points to Too High and 4 points to Auckland. So now it's Auckland chipping away and bringing it back to them. 119 to Auckland, 134 Richter. With Smith lining up on the Gemac Motors jam line alongside Princess Slayer.
Just a tick over 12 minutes to go in this game. I sense this one's going to go down to the wire as we get this one underway. Pushing out hard is Princess Slayer out front. Smith, meanwhile, just stuck on turn 1, finding it a little bit difficult. Again, that Richter defense holding up very, very strong.
That's a must running Slayer back.
But again, out front, Richter defense just holding up Smith, not giving her any room to move at all.
Resident Evil and Pyroclastic Crow attempting the pincer maneuver to stop Slayer. Still Smith's not through. And Resident Evil being sent to the Garage Project penalty box. Meanwhile, Pyroclastic Crow holding up briefly. Slayer and Must now with after the star pass. Jamming for Auckland. They're finding that Richter City wall a little bit too much. As Slayer scores another 5 points. And she's extending their lead further.
Princess Slayer picking up another 5-point Grand Slam haul. I get a coffee. God bless you, cotton socks. Marcus is like, where's mine? You can have some of mine if you want. It's a cappuccino with 2 sugars.
No sugars, thank you. Sweet enough already. 4 points to Richter, 0 for Auckland. So the score's now 148 to 119 with 10 minutes and 45 seconds left in this game.
Very handy 14-point in that previous jam there, Marcus. Again, they're just doing the basic things right, Richter City, and they're really starting to stretch his lead out a little bit.
So both teams with 1 in the Garage Project box. And we've got Jamie Dodgem jamming for Auckland, being held up beautifully by Sass. And an attempted run back, so she's been called for a cut. So Dodgem down. It's a power jam for Richter. Can they get back in this game? Oh, tumbling over herself is...
And how could
your lead jammer is Renwick. Wasn't sure if she was being sent off there, but
no.
She's now in the point scoring position. And through on the inside for just in the nick of time, Zam. Comes out of nowhere. Bam. Alakazam.
So just like that, 2 skaters go to the bin, 1 being a jammer, which you don't want. All of a sudden, Anna Renwick now with a perfect opportunity to get some much needed points for Auckland.
Suffragette doing an amazing job to hold Renwick there.
Yep. That's an amazing 2 If you ever want to learn how to do positional boxing, ladies and gentlemen, there it is right there.
Dodged them through on her initial.
Yep.
5 points to Auckland, so Renwick managing to cap all 5.
And it looks like 42. It looks like Arsenal. She's going to spend the start of the next jam in the penalty box on a forearms call.
Right at the end of the jam there.
Yep.
Oh, but there's 4 points to Richter as well.
And we are under an official timeout again. Of course, official timeouts this weekend, brought to us by Tiaro.
Tiaro Physiotherapy and Pilates.
As Nerdinator and Shihad wait patiently on the GMAC jammer start line. Nerdinator feels as though she has to have a bit of a dance, which is fine. And not to be outdone, Shihad joins us as well.
Dance for us, Shihad.
Before you know it, they'll all be dancing. That was a cue.
Shihad, dance for us, please.
Nerdinator.
There you go.
Nerdinator. Dance. There you go. She's got it.
Oh, Wayne,
Yeah,
that buddy. Thank you, Shihad. Magnificent. And the NSOs are joining in.
If anyone ever says this sport, music.
We're waiting. Right, Shihad and Nerdinator. Nerdinator right around the outside, straight through.
Nice work on the outside track there by Nerdinator. Busts on through, picked up lead jam, Richter City. Meanwhile, all our attention's back on turn 2. That's where all the action's at. And she had just being held up again by the defensive setup by Richter City. I have to say, I've been very impressed with their triangle work this afternoon. Unfortunately, though, for Nerdinator, she's picked up a back block call, so she's going to sit in the penalty box.
It's a power jam for Auckland.
Timely, I'd say, too. So hopefully they can capitalise on this, Auckland, and pick up some much-needed points.
There's been a star pass for Auckland, but it's Terra, and Terra's been run back. Ooh. Run back by Bubble O'Kill again, and she's through on her initial. Sophie, she can now pick up some points for Auckland. As the Richter Jammers sitting in the Garage Project penalty box. And Terra not getting through cleanly.
Now, just got taken to the outside of the track and just recycled back into turn 2 there, but she's got herself back on and sets about trying to bust this very strong Richter defense.
Amazing defense by Richter, by Pablo Kill and Tino Turner. 5 points though from for Terra. And rejoining right next to her. Here's Nerdinator. Being held by the Auckland wall. Arsenal appealing that she cut the track, but no. We got an inside-out helmet colour. That gave, and now a blind jammer. She blindfolded herself just for added fun there. Made it a little bit more difficult. 3 points to Auckland.
God bless her.
Well done, Nerdinator. So what happened there was she had the helmet cover on inside out, and you can't score unless the star is showing.
Yep.
So she realised at the very last minute, with a lot of shouting from the bench, what she needed to do, and in that time, Auckland called it off, and she blindfolded herself. So this time, it's Mackenzie jamming for Auckland. The score's only 20 points in it.
And again, in that previous jam, just an 8-point jam to ARDL, but
too high through. Your lead jammer for Richter.
Yep.
And Mackenzie following close on her heels. So Auckland speeding up the pack slightly, bring it out of Too High's reach with a big knocked out on the inside. Oh, and round the outside, just in the nick of time. Couple of no points to either team.
Yeah.
I thought Mackenzie may have picked one up on the outside there, but it had been called just before then. So the scores remain the same. 20 points in it with 5 minutes left on the clock. This game could be anyone's. Renwick up to jam with Slayer. This is a great game. The closest Auckland have come to Richter in some time.
And we're under another official timeout. Another Tiaro sponsored official timeout. And why should
advantage with Muss in the box, in the Garage Project box. Slayer pushing hard on that 3-wall of Arsenal, Resident Evil and Flirty Harry. And it looks like there's been a penalty called on Tino Turner. And Muss rejoins the track too, but still no jammer through. And just as I say that, Slayer gets lead for Richter.
Yeah, not too far behind her. Anna Renwick got through as well. With some much needed O back in turn 1.
And another ref nearly gets taken out by an invisible blocker. Oh, big hit from Muss on Slayer. And she calls it with 3 points in the bank.
3 points in the process. So all of a sudden, Auckland now find themselves trying to find those little 1, 2, 4, 5, 8 point jams.
And they need to chip away, but they've only got 4 minutes to do it.
Yep.
155 to Richter, 132 to Auckland.
And look who's on the track now for Auckland. It is the one and only Mackenzie, number 86. She's going to take on.
This is a nail biter. This time Auckland with the pack advantage with 2. So the slippery fish should find it easier to get through, and she does.
There we go.
Oh, big hit, big reach from Terra, knocking Dodgen out on the inside, but going down herself. So Dodgen able to rejoin immediately. Oh, and Dodgen knocked to the inside this time by Terra, who's called for that move. And so Terra now in the Garage Project box.
So although Dodgen didn't pick up any points for Richter on that particular jam,
And only 3 points to Auckland.
minimise the damage to Auckland, only picking up 3. So
Still 20 points in it. But 20 points is one decent power jam. 155 plays 135. Richter with the advantage.
as we see Anna Renwick on the jammer start line with Nerdinator representing Richter City.
Renwick straight into the wall.
Oh, nice hit there on Nerdinator, taking it to the outside of the track. She'll get recycled to main straight, I should say.
Skate the Muss with that bit of defensive work. The Nerdinator stretching out the pack now, with Renwick struggling at the rear. And lead goes to Richter yet again, this time Nerdinator. And so it looks like Tino Turner back to the Garage Project penalty box, as is Resident Evil.
Resident Evil is going to join her there.
So Renwick on her initial pass still, as Nerdinator banks a full 5 points, extending the lead to 25 for Richter. So Renwick through now.
Nerdinator comes through. That's just too easy for her. And picks up another Grand Slam 5-point haul for Richter City. And stretching it out, 165 Richter City to Auckland Roller Derby League 135 with just a little over 2 minutes to go in this game.
30 points in it, 2 minutes to go. Maths looking harder and harder for Auckland.
I was just going to say that looks like it's just about slipping away from Auckland, but
you've got Mackenzie stepping up. If someone's going to do it, it's the slippery fish, the Ginger Ninja.
Too High just happy just to sit back and let Mackenzie just go at it. Mackenzie finds herself now just really drawn into those.
Too High through. Lead is Mackenzie, who calls it off, wanting to get the most time to get a good lead. Oh, sorry, a good start to the next jam and time to score the points that they need.
Yeah.
Ooh, that was close. Too High and Mackenzie seem to pop out almost exactly the same time through the two walls.
As we see Princess Slayer and Muzz on the GMAC jammer start line.
Skate the Muss, stepping up.
And
Slayer pushing through. Slayer one-on-one with Auckland, with Arsenal. And now with Sass, but she's through as your lead jammer.
She's got lead now.
Slayer has the lead.
And pretty much can control this game.
They'll want to run this out as Muss hot on her tail. So this will be interesting tactically. Auckland walling up solidly. So Kazam doing the damage on the O. Oh, but Muss manages to get some points just in the nick of time. 1 point to Richter, 2 points to Auckland.
Yep.
30 seconds left on the clock. What can they do? Too High up to jam for Auckland and Renwick. Sorry, for Richter and Renwick. But they're calling a timeout. Team timeout to Auckland.
I guess really Auckland need an early penalty, power jam, and set about getting as many points as they can. It's doable.
That's exactly it.
But whether it can be done, I guess that's another question altogether. And what we've seen this afternoon, the Richter defence, when they get that triangle working and the floater or the O working effectively, they're pretty formidable force. So all credit to them.
So Renwick still standing on the jam line, joined by the rest of her team. Too High for Richter.
It looks like it's going to be a 4-3 blocker advantage going the way of Auckland, so that was certainly going to help.
Jam Mackenzie again. Unless I was thinking, I mean, Renwick's good. Renwick's the second best.
But she's only got 2 blockers in the class, so that's the point.
So Renwick with only two blockers in the wall, one still in that O position for Richter, and Renwick struggling to get past the Auckland wall, and Too High on the outside. Ooh, the big hit, double hit.
Too High gets through,
and that's it. Too High with the lead. She's being shouted by her bench to call it. And she does. Wow. For 1 point. So the score unofficial, 167-137. That 30-point difference. Amazing game.
What an amazing game.
Let's get trackside and touch some skin.
Wow.
Let's have some noise. Firstly for Auckland, what a valiant effort. Let's have some noise for Auckland, please. And your winners, Richter City. Let's have some noise for for Wellington. And your NSOs and refs.
I was going to say and announcers, but